In this lesson, we're going to learn how to generate temporary passwords using the secrets and string modules. So we're going to emulate the actual real-life situation where we forgot our main password and we required temporary password to reset it. So let's define a function called generateTempPassword. This function will have a single parameter, which is the length of that temporary password that we need to generate. So this parameter number of characters will store the, number of characters. And let's define it as 8 characters long. And inside of that function, let's define a string that will hold the potential characters that we will use for this temporary password. Let's call it charPool, and let's say will contain string.ASCII letters, string.digits, and also some random characters, which we'll specify inside of the quotes. So we'll specify some random nonsense that you could possibly meet in passwords. All right, and on the next line, we will use the secrets choice function to pick up characters from this pool for our temporary password. In other words, we will create a string based on these characters. We'll store this string in the result, and then we will return the result. So we're using the join function, and it receives secrets.choice, and secrets.choice receives charPool as an argument. And this all happens for I in range and then number of characters to make sure we won't go over the characters we defined, the length of characters we defined, and then we just return the result. All right, and now let's see how it works. So inside of the print statement, I will call this function, and I'll specify 10 as the number of characters. Here you go. It has overwritten the 8 we specified in the function with 10, and now it has generated the temporary password with 10 characters. But you probably came across the situation when they say your password needs to contain at least one number or one uppercase or lowercase character, and so on and so forth. In other words, there might be some conditions applied to the password. In that case, we want our password generator to account for these conditions as well. So in this generate password function, I will just copy and paste the parameter. It's still 8 characters, but we can override it during the function call. And I'm going to copy the character pool as well. And we can still use secrets.choice, but this time we can apply a different strategy to achieve this. We can construct this password string, but inside of the while loop. So while this is true, I can actually copy and paste the result and where we construct the string. And here I can actually apply some conditions. So the first condition I will apply is I will check whether any of the characters in this result string is an uppercase character. And another condition is I will be checking whether any of the characters in this result string is actually a digit. So very much the same condition. I'm calling the isDigit method for C in results. And when these conditions are satisfied, we can break from this while loop. And then, of course, we want to return the result. All right, so let's run this code as well. So print statement, and inside we're going to call this function with, again, 10 characters. And you can try it yourself. Each time you'll run this code, it will generate a password that has at least one uppercase character and at least one digit. So let me run it again. And here you go. Let's consider another situation where we need to create a temporary link for the new user. And these temporary URL links are normally designed so it is hard to guess them, and they can be used only once for, let's say, email verification purposes. So let me comment that out and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll have this result URL that will be constructed from a base URL with some appended characters. So it can be anything like example.com, and it normally has something like reset, like so. And then we can use this token URL save. So we can say result URL and then append it with secrets.token URL save. And let's say we arbitrarily want to append 15 characters. So I'll pass 15 as an argument, and then we'll just print the result URL. Let's run the code. And here you see that the base URL was appended with these random generated hard to guess characters, which is making the URL overall hard to guess. And each time I run the code, it generates a new random hard to guess URL.